Okay, um, all my chores are complete. Yard work is all done. I did all my running around I had to do. Um, I took a shower. I got cleaned up. I was starting to get out of control with the stubbles. It drives me crazy. So I got all that stuff done. I'm going to attempt to finish up the wiring harness today. I'm going to lay it out here, show you the progress that I've gotten done with it. And then we're going to label it, all the connector ends and what's what. I got my meter and pinout tools and stuff. I do believe I have all the pinout stuff that I can do that with. If I don't, I'll have to wait till tomorrow to bring that stuff home. One of my errands today was to go over to Tractor Supply to get a 7/16 coarse thread set screw to finish the mod, the mod to the throttle body. But before I ran over there, I have a bunch of different assortments from Lawson from my construction days and wrenching on heavy equipment. That was a long time ago. That was about 20 years ago. So I went through those assortments, and I actually found one. I had one bin in there dedicated for all kinds, all sizes, and lengths. And so, yeah, I can't believe I actually had one, but I'm going to show you on camera what I'm going to use. And it is right here. It is just an Allen key, fits it. And we're gonna put some minute bond adhesive or some just regular thread sealer, the liquid style that hardens up, or even red Loctite would work. I'm gonna thread it into the hole and let it dry. Minute bond adhesive, that's probably the best bet, because I'm never gonna take it back out again. I don't think. I doubt it if I do, but I don't think I will. I've already threw away the thing that was in there, but you could always heat it up, and it's got like a release temperature that once you warm it up to a certain point, it'll back out. So that's that. So I'm gonna get everything all set up here, and then I'll rearrange the camera, turn on my lighting, because the lighting is terrible in here. Even though I do have a shitload of fluorescent lights in here, it's not good enough. I have 4 of these for work. I stick them to under the hood of cars. I have 2 per car. I have 2 lifts. These things are unbelievable. I mean, they are bright. I mean, they're unbelievable. Like, they light up the sky. But yeah, there's 3 on. Well, 2 of them are just 2 settings, you know, like a medium and a high, and then I have 2 of these they have these LED lights here, and that's the 3rd setting is the brightest. So you have 3 settings on these. 1, here, let me shine on my cup. 1, 2, and 3. Really bright. I mean, this is like daylight. So anyway, yeah, these things are great company. They're made from, here, let me zoom in on it for you, Maxon, I do believe. But yeah, good stuff. And they got a beast of a magnet on the back. I mean that thing's on there. I stick 2 of them under the hoods of cars. One here. And they last on high. They last 4 hours. So like, say if I got a brake job going on, and I have 2 bays at work, so I have a brake job or something going on where I not under the hood, and I guess, say if I'm doing pistons on a Silverado in my 2nd bay, I stick 2 of those under the hood. It lights up the whole engine bay. I do whatever I have to do. It usually takes me, say if I'm changing pistons in a 5.3, I start at 8 o'clock and it's done by 5. So it's just a 1 work day, a complete piston swap. So those lights will last me the whole day. So you put 2 of them up, start at 8 o'clock, 2 of them up. start working, lunchtime comes, go eat lunch, come back, take those 2 down because they're dead, put them on a charger, grab the 2 fresh ones, put them up, bang, and you're good till 5. So anyways, so I'm rambling on here. Let me get set up, and then I'm gonna assess what I got to do, and we'll get to it. So here is my harness, where I had unpinned all these, and then I repinned them back in. I made all home runs. To everywhere, okay? So, like, this is the mass airflow sensor. Let me just get you a whole. This is like my squid, my wiring harness squid. They're all home run cables, all the way down to the tranny has its own. They're all, and then they come to this big trunk here. That way, if I ever have to diag, like for one dead coil or one dead injector, I could just grab it and follow it back to there. Diag it pretty easy. I joined all my grounds together, so they're all going to go in one location behind the cylinder head instead of down by the motor mount. Everything. So that's what we're starting with. Today I'm going to focus on double checking where I pinned everything out, making sure they are in the correct spots. Then take all that tape off of here. Take all that tape off of here, and then tie in my key power and my constant power. And then I do believe this is my transmission selector. The only thing you're going to use out of here is just the ground. Apparently, we're only using the ground out of this thing, out of this end of the connector. And this is like backup lights, neutral safety switch, all that stuff. So there's that. And then there was one wire that was shared. The 4L80E had one wire that was shared with the coolant temp sensor. I don't know if it was a low reference or a 5-volt reference or something, but I'm going to have to get to the bottom of that. I don't know what it was. So, anyways, here is the squid. And I'm going to start labeling up and checking the pin out there. And let me go to a different, get it up on a table and set the camera up. Okay, so in the midst of going through my list here of takeouts and leave-ins, I stumbled upon an oddball. Most of these harnesses in the blue connector and pin 41, it is a black wire. However, this does not have a black wire. It has a gray wire, which is a 5-volt reference. So I went on service information, I pulled up where I got this harness out of, which was a 2002 GMC Yukon Denali 3/4 ton, 1 ton, heavy duty, 8 lug wheels on it. Pin 41 with this harness is a 5-volt reference. It is not a black wire, it is a gray wire. Now when I look at the harness, and that 5-volt reference goes to my coolant temp sensor. So when I pull up the schematic for the coolant temp sensor, I was looking at it and it has a splice pack in the center of it, which this 5-volt reference is shared along with the 4L80E. Shares the reference. So what I did, when you're making a splice pack, I took a razor blade and I cut around, all the way around like this. And I did the same thing about a 1/2 inch away from it. and then I sliced the wire so I got down to the copper, and then I peeled it off. So now you have this exposed area. I as well took this out of the mask connector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here like this, you see, and I'm going to put a solder crimp right here. It's like a horseshoe style crimp. We use them for ABS wiring repairs. You have to. It's the safest way of doing it. Let me grab one. It looks like that. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like that. So what you do is you put it there like this. You crimp it, you solder it, and then you put heat shrink over it. So I'm going to try that right now while we're on video. Just let me get my crimpers. These are my crimpers. They are, you can get them through GM's tool catalog, but they're like $300. I found a company on the internet that they make all kinds of these crimpers. They're duplicates. They're made in the USA. The company is called Waytech, and they got hundreds of different sets of crimpers, but they are identical to the Kentmore ones. Identical. They work perfect every time for putting on. I got a couple pairs of them, but they're like 90 bucks. I got one set that does just crimps, all crimps, and then one that does crimps and weather pack. You know, the little the round silicone barrels. It puts them and installs them perfectly too, with the right amount of tension. So let's try this now. So you grab your wire, you grab your horseshoe. I give it a pinch just for sake of being easy. All right, so you got it like that, and you're going to use A, which is the first one. Put that on there like that. Crimp it down. And then over here, I do 3 times. I do once in the middle. There. Okay, so there's your crimp. I don't know if you can see it. And it's in there, it ain't going nowhere. Then the next step, I'm going to solder it. So I'm going to pause you for a minute. Okay. Jeez, I quit smoking 6 years ago, and I forgot to bring my heat gun home. It took me like 20 minutes to find a cigarette lighter. Okay, let's try that again. I take a little solder, I put it on my tip. And then I touch the terminal with the solder from behind. It transfers the heat to it really good. And then you just fill from the back side. The solder wants to go to the heat. And then you just let it sit there for a second. Flick it off the end of your tip. And we're done. Let it cool. And then I grab some heat shrink like this, cut it, and then seeing that I pinned it out of the ECM connector, you just slide it right on over. This is marine grade stuff, so it's got glue inside it, like a hot glue. the middle. So the hot glue melts and then it seals it. Spin it. The other side. There you go. One splice pack taken care of. Okay, I know I said I was going to do an update video and video the whole wiring harness ordeal of me doing it with all home runs and everything, and I saved everybody a bunch of time and aggravation because I watched a few videos on YouTube of guys doing their wiring harnesses, and it is fucking boring. Boring. I was fighting to keep my eyes open. So, I'm not going to do that to you guys. Anyways, I'm going to inject some pictures into this video. I'm going to show you what I accomplished. It's pretty much done. I just have to do my powers to the fuse boxes, the key on and battery on, which is no big deal. That's all easy stuff. But all the harnesses made in the home runs with all nice braided wire loom. I'm going to spin the camera around so I can show you guys. Let me just get over on this side. Okay, so everything's all done in home run cables. You really can't see it with the light, but everything's done. Home runs. Each injector's got its own run. You know what I mean? So if there's a problem in injector one, I grab that one and I figure it out. Go from there. You don't have to go through a whole mess of wires to get to it. Here's the relays. It's going to be low speed fan, high speed fan, starter. It's going to be this 2-3 shift mod. And then for the fuel pump, I got to run like a big, like 70 or a 90 amp relay for that, because it's going to be like 3 Walbro 450s in the tank. So that's that. Well, here's the fuse boxes, which is going to be keyed and keyed. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's going to be keyed, and this is going to be constants, because I only need a couple constants, so I got a small one for that. And all of this is all my switch stuff, like tachometer and this, and vehicle speed, and mill light, and OBD2. I left them all long like this, because I don't know how long they have to be. So I just labeled them and left them long until I get the stuff installed into the truck. But that's all done. Here's all my powers for injectors and mass airflow, heated oxygen sensors. Then here's my grounds that I need to go to the battery ground, basically. In this harness, I extended all of my, there's usually one in ground down by the motor mount and then one up by the head. But then if you take the harness all apart, sorry, I was cut off there. I was talking about grounds. The ground wires, normally there's one down by the motor mount, and then there's one up behind the cylinder head on the driver's side. Well, when you take the harness all apart, the one that's down by the motor mount, if you can reroute it and it'll land. It's the same exact length as the one that goes behind the cylinder head. So I just put them together, so they go behind the head together. So you don't have to deal with that one down near the motor mount. That's ridiculous. I have no idea why they would put that down in the weather and all that. So there's a bunch of ground splices and 5-volt reference splices that are in this harness that when you take it all apart, they're all soldered together. So anyways, this is all you need. Get rid of all the other shit and tie them all together, and here you go. Well, anyways, it's late. It's 12 o'clock. I'm going to bed. I have a long day tomorrow. So anyways, I'll edit this video before I go to bed, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Maybe I'll do something on the truck. I'm not sure. It's going to be a busy day. But anyway, good night.